Hello, Top Fan Rivalry followers. It's Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. We got another Rivalry Talk special episode this week. We got Scott, we got Joe, we got Alex. We're going to have a good time today. We got a Cubs fan, a Dodger fan, a Phillies fan. But we're not going to, most of those teams are going to make the playoffs, if not all of them. So we're not going to necessarily go at rivalry. We're going to go at the fan side of it and why we think certain things are so fun and ballparks and whatnot. So we're going to start with Scott. Obviously, he's a Cubs fan. So how'd that start?
Well, I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. I was actually a Reds fan in the 70s for the obvious reasons, the big red machine. And as time went on, my dad would always have these Cub games going on during the day. It's kind of hard not to like Harry Carey and, Steve Stone calling a game. And I think I got more involved in the fans and, in the bleachers. And it just, became something that I just was enthralled with. But, you would think I'd be a Dodger fan, but I can't stand the Dodger fans. Sorry.
There's two of us in the room. He's saying low blows, right?
Yeah, but fast forward, I followed him through the tough times, and really I've been a fan for a long, long time since then. And, I was able to go to the World Series in 2016 and, kind of culminates being a fan, and I'm a fanatic.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it. Joe, I know you're a Philly fan. How'd that start?
Speaking of fanatics, I was born and raised in South Philadelphia. When I was a very little kid, the Phillies were really good, so it was really easy to become a baseball fan. I remember watching the game in 1980 when they beat the Royals. I went to the parade. I remember all that. Actually went to a World Series game in 1983, and then I moved out here to California in 1990 and just always kept all across the board, 4 for 4, Philly fan.
4 for 4. Okay. True blue or true baby blue, right?
There you go.
Right, there you go. All right, Alex, I know you're a Dodger fan. I need you to knock on Portillo's and anything to have to do with Wrigley Field after what he said, okay? No, I'm teasing. No. How'd it start, Alex?
Wrigley's one of my favorite fields.
So you're not starting out well here.
So I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. My first experience with Dodgers was playing in Little League, and my team happened to be the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So I got to wear the Dodger uniform, and I was little, I was young, and then I started seeing it on TV, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, these are people doing what I'm doing, but they're older and they're athletes and they're just amazing, and I just fell in love with the game. And that was my team. It took me one time to watch them, and that was it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's start with you, Joe. Let's talk. Now we know where it started, but talk about favorite players. So talk to me about a couple of current favorite players that you have. Talk to me about all-time favorite players, whether Phillies or not.
Okay. Okay, let's go. Last time we talked about JT Realmuto. I love all my Phillies I love, so let's go non-Phillies this time.
Okay.
My favorite player growing up was Don Mattingly.
Oh.
Former Dodger manager, of course.
Yeah.
Just
Dodgers,
loved the way he played,
right?
Great hitter. He was a superstar, but he didn't seem like a superstar.
Yeah.
I just loved everything about him. Other than that, really Donnie Baseball and Wade Boggs, Tony Gwynn, guys like that. I love the guys that were just like elite. You look at the back of their baseball card every year, it was like 360. It's like unimaginable how these guys do this year after year. So I kind of gravitate to those guys, all lefties somehow too. I don't know how that worked out, but
Works for me.
Those are my favorite non-Phillies growing up in the 80s. Currently, my favorite Phillies are JT, and you gotta love Harper.
Right.
His attitude is infectious.
Yeah.
To have a guy with all that talent and all the heart, and just the way that he is, it's amazing to have him in pinstripes.
I really like Stout as well. When I was at the game, I'm like, this kid's good. This kid's really good.
Yeah.
And the fans like him. Definitely. So, yeah, I like that. It was funny that you mentioned the back of the baseball card. I saw a statistic maybe a week or so ago where one of and I don't remember who did it, but somebody had struck out 188 times this season. And it showed a statistic with Tony Gwynn, and it said in 10 years he didn't strike out 188 times total, and one guy did it one time. Okay, that seems fair enough, I guess. All right, Alex, favorite players, all-time favorite players, favorite current players.
All time, I've got to go Jackie Robinson.
Okay.
He's a fan favorite for every person that loves baseball. He broke barriers. He did a lot for baseball and for opening up doors for a lot of players that didn't have a chance to play. So, I don't need to school you guys on Jackie Robinson. I think we all know his good story. So, Current player would be Clayton Kershaw. I love him to death. You know, the thing for me is it's not about the player being on the field, what you do in the field, it's what you do off the field too. What you do off the field can just ruin your reputation, and you see them a different way. For me, some people don't care. You know, some people just want to perform on the field. But for me, if you're a class act on the field and off the field, you have my heart.
Yeah.
And Clayton Kershaw has been consistent this whole time. You know, being a class act with the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
he's my go-to.
I like that, and I had just read recently that he's considering hanging him up, and so I hope that he doesn't. I want one more season so that he can kind of do the tour like Miguel Cabrera's done and Yadi Molina and things like that. But it might be time. We're getting that close, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, no question. So.
This time's coming. I can feel it.
Yeah, you don't realize it when you're watching them, and the same goes for every sport, right? You don't realize how good these people are until they're not there anymore. The Michael Jordans of the world, right? And you think, oh, they're going to be there forever, and then when they hang it up, you think, oh, I just witnessed something special. It's tough.
And that's how I feel watching him pitch sometimes. You know, he has these no hitters going sometimes, and just pitching a gem. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm watching this. Like this is him. So 20 years from now, when we're talking about him, I'll be like, yes, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I like that. All right, favorite players, Scott.
Yeah, I'd say in the past, Pete Rose for sure. I mean, Charlie Hustle, if you got a chance to watch him play, he just took the game and made it what I remember it as, and it was a different game back then. And I've never seen somebody sprint to first base, after a walk. Nolan Ryan, I mean, for the obvious reasons, I've never seen somebody so dominant as a pitcher. Current Cubs, these were prior current Cubs, because if it wasn't for Rizzo, if it wasn't for Bryant, and honestly, my sons both got to meet Ben Zobrist, one of the nicest gentlemen ever to play the game, and he's a hero, as a Cubs fan. I mean, rode his bike in his uniform, through Wrigley neighborhood to a game and stopped to sign autographs, I think, and just, I don't know. I mean, I can go on, but those are really my heroes, and I know one of my sons, Rizzo's his guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Can you guys imagine? Think about this for a second. Can you imagine with the way the game's played today and all the, what I'm going to call it, showboating, right? Arozarena rounding third. Like that. Can you imagine if you did that to Nolan Ryan? Or
He'd put him in the headlock.
Robin Ventura. Yeah. I mean, I think about that every time I see a home run hit, or every time I see somebody be a little flashy. I'm thinking, what would Nolan Ryan do in that scenario? What would some of these guys like Drysdale or Koufax, or some of these guys? They wouldn't put up with it. It'd be ridiculous. So, all right. So let's talk ballparks. Now I'm going to start with you, Alex, because you've only been to one or two ballparks, I think, right? I've heard.
Last week.
Yeah, this last week, exactly. Yeah, I know you've been to 29 ballparks. So tell me maybe 2 or 3 of your favorite ballparks, and then why. And then I'm going to ask you a follow-up question after I go around the table about that. So 2 or 3 of your favorite ballparks and why.
This is a very, very popular question.
Okay.
I wear my jacket or my jersey, they see the patches. That's the number one question I always get. And it's a fair question, because you want to share that with people, because they're doing the same thing. They want to know where to go to, what's the best one. So, but hands down, my top 2, it's got to be Fenway Park.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful stadium. So much history. My second, Wrigley. Wrigley Field. I mean, it's just like Fenway. It's just nostalgic, It's the city, the stores around it, the restaurants, the vines, everything. It's just beautiful. So, other ones I added this year was Atlanta. Just went to Atlanta, and Atlanta is beautiful. The battery around the field.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. It's awesome. Best view, PNC Park, beautiful. So those are my top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Now, remember what I said about not being nice to the Cubs, but I mean, you threw him a bone. I appreciate that right there. He helped you out right there. So for you, what makes a good ballpark?
A good ballpark for me, it's a number of things. I do like having the restaurants and bars outside of the stadium.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Dodger Stadium doesn't have that. It's missing that.
It's up on a
I
hill.
love my stadium, but it's missing that. But just like Petco, you walk outside, there's the bars, the Battery outside of Atlanta. So I like that aspect of it. The aesthetics in the stadium, I like the cool little designs and monuments in there. The fans.
Yeah.
Sometimes Dodger fans aren't always accepted at certain stadiums. So
Gee, I wonder why.
so friendly fans. There's been a lot of stadiums I've gone to, and they've welcomed us. And so those are my top things. And good food.
Good food. Yeah, you gotta mention the food in there. I will tell you this: the first time I went to a ballpark that didn't have a parking lot right around it, like when I went to Philadelphia this year, and you've got the arena, the football stadium, and the baseball stadium right there. We're not used to seeing that. We're used to Dodger Stadium being up on a hill, or Anaheim Stadium, big parking lot. When you walk into Wrigley and it's just a neighborhood, or Fenway, it's just a neighborhood. If you've grown up here, it's kind of takes you back a little bit. You're kind of thinking, this is much better than what we're used to. So I didn't say that out loud. All right, favorite ballparks, or actually where have you attended, I should say, and then favorite ballparks.
Well, you know the obvious answer, so I'll hold that one for last. But I think out of all the ballparks I've been to, and I haven't been to Fenway, that's on my bucket list probably in the next year or two. I'd say AT&T Park in San Francisco. They really have taken all of the greatest aspects of a lot of the parks and made it, fantastic. I mean, where else can you watch a home run get hit into the McCovey Cove? And, they've got such a great, energy and the outfield there for the kids. So I think that one definitely is probably top of the list. But, I love Petco. Petco reminds me a lot of Wrigley, has a lot of the Wrigley flavor. Just a lot of that industrial, parts in the outfield, and love the backdrop, kind of like PNC Park, right, in Pittsburgh. Haven't been there yet. And then, of course, I get to Wrigley. Wrigley, for me, I had never been there until I got promoted to a job back in '99. Sammy Sosa was our right fielder at the time. I think, he's pretty popular. So I went to my first game. I sat in the bleachers. I had to do the whole experience. And nowhere have I ever in my life been in a place where someone would ever look at me and say, "Hey, buddy, you want a beer?" And the guy went and bought me a beer and came back, and I bought him one a couple innings later. And, it was just the, Harry Carey, the ivy, the buzz. I've never walked into a place and had the hair on my neck stand up, and I get that every time I go there, and it's just I get pumped up like I'm walking into Vegas, or it's incredible.
It's a good feeling. I've been outside of that. I had a business meeting that got canceled. It got moved like 6 hours later, and I was already in town.
Yeah.
And this was years ago when they had the GPS systems mounted in the rental cars. Tells you a little bit, right? And instantly my mind was, where should I go? Oh, I falsified my renewal. I put 1060 West Addison, Blues Brothers, right? So I put 1060 West Addison. I was out, went shopping, went around a little bit. It was pretty great. It was pretty awesome. All right, Joe, where have you been? Favorite parks?
I haven't been to that many parks. I would say probably 6, 7 tops. My favorite stadium actually to go to was Dodger Stadium.
Hey.
When I go to Dodger Stadium, I feel like I'm at a ball game. When I go to Angel Stadium, it's just not the same feeling. Just for whatever reason, when I walk in the Dodger Stadium in the concourse and I'm getting ready to get to the seats, it just feels like, yes, I'm at a baseball game. Citizens Bank is really nice. I've been there a few times over the years when I get back home, but it's not the Vet. And so for that reason, I would say that Oakland Stadium actually would be another one of my favorites because it reminds me of that.
Oh, the Vet.
When I went to Oakland, I saw Oakland and Texas play a few years back, and just walking around the place, I just got chills. Like, oh, this is just like the Vet. There's nobody here. It's a dirty old stadium. This is great.
So if it makes you feel any better, after we left Citizens Bank the second night that we were there, I was with a couple of people and I said, "Hey, fellas, show me where home plate's at." And they go, "Okay, come with me." And they took me out to the parking lot and they showed me where home plate was at. Those are the fun things. Like I would love to tour all ballparks and see where the old home plates were, right? One of the ones I'm looking forward to that I've driven by, but I haven't stopped is, and you've been to it, is Citi Field. Because of the history of it, they tried to recreate it like old Ebbets Field. And that to me is, Boston, Chicago, you like those old stadiums, you like the old nostalgia. For me, I'm not a huge fan, and I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm not a huge fan of it becoming an attraction. I want it to be an old school feel of a ballpark. Sure, I want it to be clean, Oracle Park, like you mentioned, or things like that. The thing that surprised me so much in Boston was, and I had to do a double take and think, wait a second, this is old, is the concourses where you go get your food and things like that. You can't fit 2 people side by side in some places because it's small. But man, when you walk up that aisle and you see that field, forget about it. It's a special experience. You'll have to tell me about it next time when you go. All right, Alex, tell me, which are your least favorite? Which are 1 or 2 of your least favorite, and why?
Least favorite. I've got to say, number 1, Oakland.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I mean,
I did, yeah.
going to these stadiums, yeah, you're analyzing everything. You're looking at all the aesthetics of the stadium and the beauty of it. But when I went to Oakland, it was just
It's an obligation.
I looked around.
I'm gonna hit all 30. I have to do it.
It's mandatory. I had to go. Like a mandatory meeting. Like you don't want to go, but you have to. So, but yeah, that was my experience walking into the stadium, looking around. I'm like, was it? That was my experience. Like, well, where's everything at? This is just a plain stadium. It was really, sorry to say, it's boring. So, but I was there for the Dodgers and Athletics game, and that was fun. But yeah, that's my least favorite. I think Chase Field. That one too. So hot. I think that was my experience. It was hot. Went into the stadium. They said there was AC. It was just as hot in there. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it.
Nah.
Yeah, those are my least 2.
That's we went to Houston, and we were on the upper deck, and you couldn't feel the AC up there. And I'm looking at the Houston fans that were next to me. I go, "You guys just won a World Series. You can't afford AC. Turn this thing on. What are you guys going to go and hawk? Jose Altuve's jersey is a mini size. You don't pay a lot for his jersey. Come on, let's go." No, I'm teasing. Least favorite ballpark and why? Maybe.
I've been to not even close to as many as you, but I tried to think outside the box, and I can't because it just screams Oakland. It was so bad, after, being to so many great ballparks. My company went to an A's-Rays game back in the day. I just felt like we were so far from where the action was. And I got the same feeling. Like, I like to be able to walk into a stadium. I was just recently in New York, and I was at the old Bronx, stadium where the Yankees played, the house that Ruth built. I was at the new stadium. I got that buzz. I was like, oh my God, it was awesome. It was really, really great. But going back and I'm trying to put it out of my memories. It was just so awful because I think there was like 4,000 people there. And it was, and that was a good night, yeah. And there was nothing about it that I want to even talk about. It was just a bad ballpark, and they need to implode it.
Yeah, it's. What about you?
I'm gonna stick with Anaheim.
Okay. Yeah.
It feels artificial when you walk in there. It just doesn't feel like a real thing.
So Joe's got a point, though. I mean, if for those of you that are watching this, if you haven't been to Anaheim Stadium is very cookie cutter. I wouldn't list it as one of the worst, but one of the things that Anaheim has that surprised me is that, you can help me out on the years on this, maybe a dozen years or so ago, Anaheim Stadium started bringing in what I'm going to call food court food. Like you can get Panda Express there. Yeah. Like, when have you ever thought, I want to go to a ballpark and I want to get Panda Express, but I don't want to make 2 stops? Like, when was the last time you ever thought that? It's kind of like the street sign that I saw driving down the street in Oakland one time. It said, "Best Philly cheesesteaks west of the Mississippi." Then it had 3 dots that says, "We also have egg rolls too." And I thought to myself, even when I was in college, I never thought, I want a Philly cheesesteak and an egg roll, but I don't need to make 2 stops. So I get what you're saying there. For me, Oakland is the ballpark, and for different reasons. So I felt like you were far away from the stadium, okay? But what I found interesting, and this is 2009 that I went there, they were playing the Yankees, and what I found was there were more Yankees fans than A's fans there, and they were selling more Yankee merchandise than A's merchandise. which that to me spoke volumes. Go to Dodger Stadium. We're not selling merchandise from other teams. You go to Citizens Bank. They're not sitting there. Oh, the Yankees are in town. Let's sell a bunch of Yankee stuff. So it wasn't the price. You go to Chicago, they'll run you out of town. And I mean, especially when White Sox are in town. Here's a White Sox hat. It's not going to happen. So it just, that was for me that. Now my two outside of Dodger Stadium, some of my favorite stadiums, really enjoyed Citizens Bank. I haven't been inside Wrigley yet. I really enjoyed the K at Kauffman Stadium. We just got back from Kansas City, and we did a food thing with one of our friends, Stadium Food Girl, and they made us lobster corn dogs, which were amazing, and they had a dessert pizza, which was fantastic. So I would say that stadium is high up on the list for me. Citizens Bank is high up on the list. And I do like Oracle. Petco's fun, but I like to have the old school with the new school feel to it. So it's good. All right, Joe, I'm going to start with you. Couple of baseball memories, just something that makes you a baseball fan. Final question.
Okay. Something that makes me a baseball fan. One of my favorite baseball memories actually happened here.
Okay.
California. So in 2003, the Phillies came and played at Angel Stadium for the first time.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say the Jim Belushi thing. Okay, good.
I'm gonna leave you alone on this one. All right? No bashing the Dodgers. No.
Okay, good. 2003.
Yeah, in 2003, the Phillies came here and played interleague for the first time. So I got to see the Phils,
Yeah.
right where I lived, basically. And then after the game, we went to the hotel, the DoubleTree. They were finally good again after years. Jim
Yeah.
Thome,
Yeah.
Kevin Millwood, all those guys came over. So we went to the hotel and got autographs and stuff. So I got to get like Mike Lieberthal, Jimmy Rollins, Pat Burrell, all of them, Vincente Padilla, a bunch of guys that were really good on the good squad at the time. So that's a great memory for me.
Okay, I like that. I have a great Philly memory to go with that. Is I have a lot of respect for Shane Victorino, and when we were playing them, the Dodgers were playing them, and I want to say it was 2008, the year you guys won the World Series. There was a little bit of a scuffle, and I think Zach Greinke got hit. He was pitching for the Dodgers, and then Shane Victorino was the first person up. Now, all four of us know this, right? What's going to happen? Somebody's going to get drilled, right? Well, Zach threw at his head, and Shane ducked, and he said, "Hit me in the side. Don't hit me in the head. Hit me in the side." And I had total respect for him because he understood. Now, some people that don't understand the game, they're probably looking at that going, "What are you doing?" We understood what was happening, right? It's just a message. You did it to us, we did it to you, type thing. And
He knew it was coming too.
and he knew it was coming, but he just said, "Just don't hit me. Hit me in the side. Don't hit me in the head. Hit me in the side." So it was good. But, yep. Okay, couple memories. Alex.
Doing it for 20 years, going to games, starting since Little League, and playing in high school, and starting to go to the games as a younger kid. Just fell in love with the game. I love my Lakers, I love my Rams, I love other teams, but just something about baseball that I fell in love with. It's the crack of the bat, just hearing Vin Scully's voice, walking into stadiums, getting the chills. That's how I fell in love with the sport.
Yeah.
After that, I shared it with my daughter. I know you've seen the videos on my page. I actually started the 30 for 30 by myself, and she saw what I was doing, and she wanted to catch on with me, so I had to catch her up, and it turned into our adventure. Fortunately, she's going to school. Fortunately, she's going to school. She's getting her master's now. So these last few years, I've been asking her, and she's got school, I got finals, she's with her boyfriend, so things changed since I was taking her as a little girl. But that was my special moment and memory, is sharing my love for the sport with her and letting her experience what I experienced, because I didn't get that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So giving her that experience, travel and see other cities and other teams, that made me the happiest.
Nice. That's fantastic. We definitely need to reach out to her and make sure that she understands that baseball comes before schools, finals, and like that. My priorities. Let's talk priorities.
I was bummed out for the first couple of years when she was like, "No, I can't go with you on that trip." I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
Doing it for at least 10 plus years, that's my partner in crime. So to not have her come with me, it was kind of like bummed out. But I started learning how to travel by myself and doing things by myself, and it ended up being pretty fun.
Yeah.
Meeting a lot of friends.
Absolutely. Okay, Scott, final question. Memories. What makes you a baseball fan?
Lots. I mean, I see like Chris Chambliss hitting that home run, where the fans are running onto the field and he's, kind of navigating through, and Reggie Jackson, kind of going through and just beating people up. I remember I was privileged enough to be, I guess, I grew up in like Encino, Sherman Oaks area, and I went to this Valley Cardinals baseball camp. And during the summer in July and August, parents would send me to play baseball during the day, and we got to get Russell, Say, Garvey, Lopes, Reggie Smith. I mean, every Dodger you can imagine. I mean, one day here comes Steve Howe and Bob Welsh flying in a Porsche and, zipping into the parking lot to sign autographs. I think they were half cocked and drunk, but, that wasn't, yeah, never. But I mean, we would, they would give us instruction and sign autographs and do pictures. And then at nighttime, we would go watch the Dodgers play. I mean, and play baseball. I mean, it was just a kid's dream. I got to pinch myself that I had that opportunity. But, my dad was a huge baseball guy. He coached me all throughout, and always we would go to the Dodger games. And, I'd root on the teams that came into town, but I do appreciate, that stadium and all that they've built. There a lot of respect.
Yeah. Of course, when they were playing the Cubs, you weren't rooting on, the Dodgers much. The Dodgers, yeah, very good. Well, I have absolutely loved this, and there's a lot of great information. That's why we have Top Fan, is to share fan experiences and just to really kind of enjoy this love of the game, right? I mean, we're getting ready to come into what I call the long national nightmare, which is after the season's over until spring training. So we're going to have to find ways to make sure that we can cover some time there, right? So, Top Fan Rivalry followers, I appreciate you listening. This has been fantastic. Scott's been phenomenal. Joe and Alex, they've all been great. We love doing this. We love everybody's passion and sharing their love for the game. And we'll look forward to doing this soon. And again, we appreciate you watching.